Hello and welcome to your reading. Today we're going to be seeing what you need to hear. So these are the two piles. We have pile 1 right here with the Light Seers Tarot and pile 2 right here with the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck. So pick your pile, and if you chose pile 1, this is going to be your part of the reading. So first we're going to start with Oracle and Oracle cards that I pre-pulled before this randomly. We're going to look at them, take a look at your situation, see if this is what you need to hear or if it's for someone else. Okay, first we have the Ring. I'll show it on the screen with the Ring. I'll show them all after I put them down. How's that? The Desert. We have Break the Chain, Ancestral Patterns, Healing, Rewriting the Future. We have Personal Power. I encourage you to be the master of your destiny. And lastly, we have Rest. Okay, so we have the Ring. We have the Desert. I see, okay. Break the Chain. Personal Power. Okay, and Rest. So first of all, I feel like you're going through a period of rest right now. You're going through a period where you're not doing much. If that resonates, this is your reading. A period where you're not doing much, where you're just kind of in your own energy and really, I heard white picket fence, that's really random. Okay. You're just kind of in your own energy, maybe hanging out with family, or maybe it's the opposite. For some of you, it's like either or. You're just like, you're in a resting period where you're taking care of yourself. For some of you, you might not be taking care of yourself, and that might be this message. I see a need for you to break the chain. So when I break the chain of ancestral patterns, especially, I don't know why, but when I see this card, I always think of like a sister, like she's like a sister to someone. So maybe for some of you, a sister. It's like you're in charge of your destiny, not your family, is what this reading is kind of about, I think. Because with the Rest, Break the Chain of ancestral patterns, I feel like people are pressuring you to stay in your own bubble, or pressuring you to do something. They're pressuring you to kind of do something you don't want to do. She's like, oh, whatever, it's fine, right? I feel like she's just shrugging. In my mind, that's what she's doing. She's shrugging, like, oh, it's fine. But in reality, she needs to own up to her power. She needs to know that she is powerful and she can decide for herself. And I think that's what's happening right now. For what you need to know is that you need to, and you're going to be, kind of mastering your own destiny, being yourself, realizing that your family is not in charge of what you do. You are in charge of what you do. You do what you do. Your family is not like the main people that control you. They shouldn't be. And if they do control you, you're realizing that that's a bad thing and that they shouldn't control you any longer. With the Ring, I see this bringing you abundance, this bringing you happiness. I feel like maybe you with the Ring, I'm thinking of like family passed down things. Like maybe you got passed down something from your family, like this could be literal, or it's like you got passed down. For a lot of you, you got passed down like anger, or just like patterns that are really bad, like trauma from your like parents maybe, or from your family, and it made you left in the desert. They just left you in the desert. I feel like for some of you, this might be a little bit of a triggering reading for some people, so trigger warning. But you may have gotten lost. Like they left you with this like ring. They left you with this thing that seemed shiny, that you're like, oh, I'm here on earth, this is wonderful. But they left you with trauma. They left you with this stuff that isn't good, right? And you feel left in the desert. And I feel like you're going to be taking back your personal power, breaking the chain of like this ring being passed down. You're not going to pass down the ring anymore. You're not, maybe literally for some of you, and also in this way. Like, you're not going to let this be passed down anymore. You're going to stop it right here. You're going to rest it. You're going to put it to rest. I feel like you are in a period of rest, and you're going to get up and stop this period of, like, not doing anything about it. Let's get into your tarot with the Light Seers Tarot. Let's get into your tarot. See what else you need to hear about these ancestral patterns. This deck is hard for me to shuffle, so ignore my bad shuffling skills. Some of you may be embarrassed of your family, because I got embarrassed of my shuffling skills. And I think There's usually reasons for why I feel certain ways during readings. Okay, what do they need to hear about these ancestral patterns? About what do they need to hear? The sun. You got the sun as your first card. That's wonderful. What else? Happiest card in the deck, pretty much. I think the Ten of Cups is. We have the King of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and the Five of Wands. Let's get 2 more, please. Exactly 2 more. Okay. The Nine of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, I feel like this could be a father figure for some of you that passed down some trauma. Or for some of you, it's like someone who is older than you, which I think for most of you, it's someone who's older than you. For some of you, it could be someone younger. Passed down these things that kept you out of balance. I feel like it's like out of balance, but you're gonna be balancing it out. It's telling you to balance this out. Just stop it. Like, it's like, oh, you know what this is kind of like? For some of you, you could have fortune in the family, or a lot of like siblings or something really want the money from their parents, and you're like fighting, and maybe that's part of it for some of you. I feel like for a lot of you, you're having trouble with who you are. You're having trouble, you're very defensive of who you are, but you're having trouble. You may actually have trouble defending yourself for some of you. You're either very defensive or you're having trouble defending yourself. But you're slowly healing. You're slowly growing this healing, I guess. You're slowly growing healing. I don't know if that makes sense, but you're slowly healing. You're slowly realizing who you are, and realizing, like, as you get older, you're like, this wasn't a good thing my family did. This wasn't a good thing. But this part of the reading is kind of like the happy part of it, where it's like, things are gonna be okay. You're gonna break the pattern. Like, you're gonna be so happy when you break this pattern. I feel like it was like a chain that was holding you to the ground, right? It was keeping you in this rest where you felt like you couldn't follow your dreams. You felt like you couldn't, whatever it is, you felt like you couldn't do it. You felt trapped, right? But you're breaking the chains. You're getting out of this situation. And I feel like it's gonna make you feel so happy, so like content. Let's get 2 more, please, Spirit. 2 more of these. I'll take that one because it was on the bottom. I'll take this one too. We'll take all of them. Okay, we have the Star. I'll show you the card. The Star. She's wishing on a shooting star. You may have been wishing for this. The Nine of Cups. And the Six of Cups, which is about your inner child. I feel like a card that I really wanted to point out because I put it back and then it came back. Maybe it's hidden. Something about your inner child. Maybe your inner child has wanted this for a while. Your inner child, maybe your parents weren't the best to you and you had a hard childhood. It's like your inner child is like calling to you, like, hey, I need this. I need you to heal this part of me. I need you to heal this part of your family. And it's like calling out to you, wishing on a shooting star. And if maybe you've been wishing for this as well, your inner child has been wishing for you to heal this, and you're finally healing it. You're finally like jumping out and healing this pattern, this, whatever this is, you're finally healing it. Let's take one more card off the top. Yeah, someone could be offering you something, literally. Like, someone's like, here's some roses, and maybe this helps you heal. Maybe that someone is coming in for some of you. This is only for some of you, but someone could be coming in, offering you something, and it helps you heal. And it's like, you finally feel like this sense of relief because you get this thing. Because you finally heal these patterns. This stuff that's been keeping you feeling stuck. And I feel like you're gonna finally heal this. And it's gonna make you so happy. So this is like, let's get one card for advice. Walk away from whoever this is, this doesn't have to be family, but I think for most of you it is. Walk away from this toxic situation. Like, you're walking away from it. You're maybe not walking away for some of you. For some of you, you're just healing and you're staying in contact still. But you're walking away from the toxicity, from the ancestral patterns that were negative, that were hurting you in the long run. You're walking away from that, and it's, in the end, going to help you. And that is going to be your reading today, pile 1. Let's get ready for pile 2, if I can put the cards back in the deck. Let's get ready for pile 2. So pile 2, if you chose pile 2, this is your reading. Let's start first. Let me put these cards away. Let's start first with your oracle cards. Now, I pre-pulled these randomly, so we're going to see your situation, if this resonates with you, if what you need to hear is what you need to hear, and if it is, that's wonderful. If you're watching, it probably is, but for some of you, we'll just see right now. We have the nectar, and we have the sustainer. The nectar, the sustainer. So the sustainer and the nectar. We have stuck. So you may feel stuck. But this is very similar to the last reading. We have rebirth. And we have keepers of the earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. This could talk about, yeah, this is like, okay. So, you're taking like, I feel like you're maybe in a depression. Let's actually, this is the one time where I think I'm going to get a tarot card just to clarify. Here, let me shuffle off camera real quick. I'll do one on camera so you know I'm shuffling. One card, please, Spirit, for clarification for this reading, because I'm a little off. Oh, the Four Swords. So you may have been stuck in a depression. For some of you, I should have just followed my intuition there. You may be stuck in a depression, like stuck in bed, unable to sleep, or sleeping too much. It could be either or for you. Insomnia or hypersomnia. It could be either or. Like being stuck, feeling trapped in whatever this is, a depression, anxiety, feeling trapped in some sort of like something's making you feel trapped. Maybe you feel trapped because of something that you feel like is a flaw. For some of you, I'm hearing you may be neurodivergent and you feel like that's a flaw, which it isn't, but maybe it's being hard on you recently and you're feeling stuck, like you can't escape, like you're stuck inside this glass. And I feel like it's like very loose and you can easily pop it off, but it's almost like you don't realize that. So you feel stuck, you feel hurt. Let's see why. The sustainer and the nectar. You're healing. I feel like you're going through a healing cycle right now, and this is telling you, reminding you that you are healing and that things are going to get better. And it's like, hey, things are going to get better. Don't worry. Why are you worrying? It's like this hand is like reaching out and healing you. It's like healing the darkness and balancing it with the light, which is always what I try to do, is balance the dark and the light. And it's helping you balance these negatives and goods so you can have a good life, so you can be happy. You're going to be sustaining your life with like a rebirth. You're going to be having a rebirth, a new beginning where you do feel happy, where you're out of this hole. And if you do feel happy now, it's like you're getting out of some sort of anxiety, some sort of thing that's been keeping you stuck. And you're getting out of this like sadness or whatever it is and having a rebirth, deep transformation before you. Keepers of the earth, you're not alone. It's reminding you that you aren't alone. You have ancestors, you have friends, you have family. There's people out there that do love you. I feel like this is just a reminder to you that you are loved. You're loved by me, for example. You're loved by your family, if you have a family. If you have friends and you're loved by your friends. You're very loved. And I feel like you forget that sometimes for some of you. For some of you, you know that. And it's just a reminder, like, you are very loved. You are very cared for. And if you don't like think like you're like, oh, I don't know who that would be, it's like if you believe in like an afterlife, people in the afterlife are watching you. If you don't, you can ignore this part, but people are watching you. Your ancestors are watching you. People that you love that have passed on may be watching you and taking care of you and being like, it's okay, everything's gonna be okay. I think a lot of you that are watching this are going through some sort of like depressive episode or something like that, or just going through something. You're going through something hard and you're gonna be, it's like a new rebirth is needed to happen, but you're stuck. You're stuck. I felt this before when I was pulling the cards. I was like, I think this is what this is about. And it kind of took a turn, but then it's coming back to what I thought it was about, where it's like you feel stuck and you're going to be, and you feel stuck and you can't get out of it, right? You feel like you can't, but the only way you can get out is if you let yourself out, because you're the one keeping yourself trapped, I feel like, which I know that's hard to hear for some people, and for some of you that may not be the truth. It may be someone else or something, but I think for a lot of you, you're keeping yourself trapped and you're not letting yourself out, and it's time for you to let yourself out, I feel like, soon. Maybe not quite yet, but I think for a lot of you, it's time to let yourself out very soon. Let's move on to the tarot part of this reading. Keep that card there. Okay, let me put that back there. Okay, let's shuffle. And I'm feeling self-conscious about some of you may be a little self-conscious, because I'm feeling self-conscious about my skills with shuffling, which is funny to me. Okay, this card wants to come out, and this card. Okay, starting with the Ace of Cups. You are so loved. I feel like you are just, like, super loved, like, extra loved. Look how much love there is for you. You got the Ace of Cups. It's like it's overfilling. It's overflowing. It's overflowing all over. You are very loved. Give me more, please, Spirit. I feel like that's good for now. The Queen of Wands. You may have a creative spark that will get you out of this depression. I feel like, okay, let's get more information. Like, you may be stuck in anxiety. It could be anxiety. It could be depression. It could be anything, right? You know what it is, right? It could be about a person in your life, I'm hearing, for some of you. Be someone else. So if it isn't resonating, this could be about someone else. But it is about you if it's resonating. You feel defensive maybe of me. You might feel like angry at me right now. Like, no, people don't love me, which people do love you, but that might be what you feel like. Or you're like, hey, it isn't gonna get better, which it is gonna get better. But you may feel a little defensive of yourself right now, which I understand. I've been through that. I don't understand exactly, right? Because everyone's different, but I do understand to a degree. I understand, like, being annoyed at people. So you may be annoyed when people are like, you are loved, you are, because you feel like you're not. Or oh, you know what it is for some of you? It's like when people are like, why are you depressed? Why do you have anxiety? Why don't you just ignore it? It's like, you can't ignore it, right? It's not something you can ignore. And you may feel defensive of yourself, like, hey, which is a good thing to be defensive about if someone's being like that. But it could be irrational for some of you. But for some of you, it's like you're defensive because people are like, why are you depressed? Why can't you just be happy? Like that type of thing, where it's like some people can't just be happy. Like, good for you if you can, Karen, but I can't, you know? Where it's like, I feel like you're keeping yourself stuck though, but also like, it isn't that easy. It isn't something where you just snap and you're out of it, right? That isn't how depression works. But I do feel like you have a choice. Now, this is the part where I feel like some of you are gonna get defensive or just like snap, which is understandable, but I feel like you do have a choice to get out of this depression for a lot of you. For a lot of you, if that doesn't resonate, then that's fine, just ignore this part. But if it resonates, then yeah, some of you are like, you do have the capacity to get yourself out of this. And for some of you, if that doesn't resonate, again, it's not for you, but you are like, you're making a choice to either stay in this or to get out of it. For some of you, that could just be a choice mentally where you're like, I want to get out of this, so I'm going to try my best. So it may not be easy, but you're going to try your best. I feel like for some of you, you might get a creative spark. I heard music. Some of you may do music where you're going to get some sort of spark, and it's going to carry your progression through whatever this is forward, the anxiety, the depression, whatever it is. It's going to carry you forward and help you to get out of this. Let's get two more. Two more, please. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's funny. Exactly what I just said. We have the Five of Cups, which is like, you feel so stuck. You feel like all these cups have knocked over, all these bad things have happened, but there's these cups behind you that are full of water, of happiness, of love. They're full there. There may be people that are there for you and you're not realizing it for some of you. You have all these knocked over cups, maybe people that you've lost, and there's people there for you now, but you're still stuck on it. And it's okay to remember these people. It's okay to grieve. It is okay, but you have to move forward. You have to get through it. Eventually, you always will get through it and go forward, but you have to choose to. You have to choose to move forward. You have to choose to keep going with your life, because some of you may feel trapped. You may feel stuck, but there's a castle behind you. There's a castle full of happiness and people that love you, whether that's here on earth or not. And we have the Fool. You're going to be like diving forward and just accepting this very soon. So if you're like, oh, I don't know if I can accept that, I don't know if I can, you can. You absolutely can. Everyone can, right? At least some point in their life. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you like literally like are unable to, but you can eventually, right? Eventually you will get out of this, whatever this is. Maybe it's like, for some of you, you may have a lot of anxiety in public, or this could be about anxiety or depression for some of you, but it could be about anxiety, and you're like slowly getting over this. It may take time. It may take a while. Even if that's a scary thing, that it might, but you're going to get through it and you're going to live a happy life. You're going to be fine. You're going to be able to speak in public. You're going to be able to talk to people. You're going to be able to get out of this depression. You will. And for some of you, that's hard to hear. That's hard because some people like keep themselves trapped where they don't realize it. I did that for a while. I didn't realize I was keeping myself trapped by habits that I had. Like I would watch things that were darker, not like a bunch of horror movies, and that would keep me like depressed because they made me like scared, and it was kind of a funny thing to think about, but it did, like, I was consuming it so much. And for some of you, like, if you enjoy that, and that's fine. But sometimes just watch out what you're watching, right? Watch out what you're doing. Like, are you doing things that are keeping you in this bubble of depression or anxiety? Are you doing things that are triggering you? Like, be careful, you know? We have the Six of Wands. You're gonna be successful. You're gonna get out of it. Like, you see the horse, this is people cheering you on. People are there for you. Like, this is a reminder. There are people, there are things, there are, like, otherworldly beings, if you believe in that. They're watching you and they're taking care of you. They have you. For some of you, you may want to go to a professional if you're able to. We have Seven of Wands. You may be very defensive right now. Like, hey, I can't. You can. I promise you can. It is possible. You're like, how can a stranger promise me this? I just am. I've experienced it as well. I know tons of people that have, and I promise you, even if you're different, which you are, of course, you can get through it. Everyone can, right? It's like, you feel like you're just like, oh, I hope so. Or maybe for some of you, you just don't care. You know when you get so, like, depressed where you just don't care anymore? I get that. I've been through that. You just don't care. It's like, really random Grimes lyrics. Imminent annihilation sounds so dope. Where she doesn't care if everyone dies in the world, which I do, obviously. Not obviously, I guess, for some, but I do care. But like, I haven't before. Before, I've just been so depressed where I felt that way. And for some of you, you may feel that way. Just know that you aren't alone. That there are people that have felt that way. Maybe a support group might help you. And yeah, that is going to be your reading for today. Very intense energies. I really hope everything's going to be okay for you. I know it will be. It may take time, but it will. And I hope this was good for you. Let's pull one last card, or if you stayed till now. You've got this. You have the tools. You have what you need to get through this, is what the Knight of Swords is saying. And yeah, that is going to be your reading. I really hope you enjoyed. I really hope this helped you. Remember, I'm not a mental health professional or a professional in general. I just do tarot cards, so take things with a grain of salt, but do know that you're going to be okay. That is something that I can promise. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.